or internally, your only other option is to say, well, it's a brute fact. It does not have an explanation either externally or internally. So which is it?
Wait, hold on. You've said that I haven't answered this. I've said this multiple
I'm
times
waiting
that
for
it's
an answer.
universal.
I've repeated
No,
the
no. I've
question
said
three
multiple
times
times
now.
that it's. I've said multiple times it's universal. If you want me
That
to
does
say
not
that it's
address the
eternal,
question.
sure, I'll say it's eternal.
Okay.
Like I don't.
Okay. So the causal principle has always existed. So does that mean that there is an infinite regress of cause and effect?
Uh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, that's not coherent, Mr. Philosophical Smarty Pants. Okay.
I don't have a
If
problem with an infinite regress.
if there's an infinite regress, an infinity cannot be traversed. That's your first problem. Number two, okay. Number two, if there's an infinite regress of causal succession, then each event would be of a second order. Therefore, there
Well,
would
now
be
you're
no.
talking about the
We
cosmological
cannot
argument.
deplete. Listen, no, I'm not. I'm not talking about the cosmological argument at all. What I'm talking, see, wow, you are such a sophist. You are so uneducated on this issue. It's embarrassing. Okay, I'm not making an argument here. I'm simply showing what you are advancing is internally incoherent. Okay, so I'll start again. When you say there's an infinite regress, first of all, you're going to have to tell me how you know that, which you haven't done. You just simply asserted it. Number two, if you assert there's an infinite regress, you have a problem because an infinity cannot be traversed. You're going to have to show me how an infinity can be traversed. The next problem is that if there's an infinite regress of causal succession, then each and every event that occurs in an infinite regress is of a second order. But if each event is of a second order, then nothing can be primary. If nothing is primary, you can't have second order events. Okay? That would be incoherent. Okay? So tell me how an infinity can be traversed.
Well, based on our current mathematical understanding, the infinite regress is possible to bound without.
No, sir.
It's possible.
No,
Hold on, dude. Let me
no.
finish.
Mathematics do
If
not
you're going to sit there,
determine mathematics.
thank you. So, based on our current understanding of the way that the universe works, it is entirely possible that if you were to so, for example, if you were to calculate the current Schwarzschild radius of the universe, which is what determines the size of a black hole, if you calculate this, it's very likely. What happened? Why aren't we continuing to meet this?
This is bullshit. What you just.
This is okay. Thank you. So, if we were to follow this through, it's granted. I'm not. I'm very much not the kind of person that claims that we know these things. But this is one of many possibilities. The current mathematics suggests that the Schwarzschild radius of all the known mass in the universe is that of a larger radius than our current visible universe, meaning that it is entirely possible that we live within a black hole. Due to our understandings of the laws of nature, it's entirely possible that what happened? What are we continuing to do this?
I mean, are you serious?
Are we continuing to?
Are you addressing my question?
Yeah, I actually am.
Really, dude. First of all, you start giving me a little lecture that would impress 50-year-olds, but not a 60-year-old man who's conversant in the basics of philosophy. First of all, mathematical objects do not stand in causal relations. Okay, mathematical objects do not stand in causal relations. So giving me a little community college lecture about mathematics does not explain about the succession of events, because mathematical objects do not stand in causal relations. Do you want to argue that mathematical objects, stand in causal relations?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, good. Okay, then there's no need to invoke mathematics, because mathematics don't determine what is and what happens, or what can be and cannot be. Okay, they don't stand in causal relations. Number two, okay, now you start talking about cosmology. You're just giving rhetoric here. You know, I know, everyone in the room knows you're just filibustering. Now, listen very carefully. You didn't explain even in the least, okay, how an infinity can be traversed. Okay, so that's the first problem. Okay, let me ask you this question. If you and I,
What's the contradiction in
if you and I had unlimited fuel in a spaceship, Okay, this is a thought experiment. If you and I were in a spaceship and we decided we're going to leave Earth and we're going to go to planet X, and we have unlimited fuel, unlimited resources, okay? We leave planet Earth and we're going to go visit planet X. But the distance between Earth and planet X is infinite. Would we ever arrive?
Universe infinity by measure is asymptotal.
I didn't ask you about the universe.
I said infinity. I said infinity by measure is asymptotal. This is how we identify infinity plus one.
You see, this is the problem, dude. You're embarrassing yourself in front of everybody in the room. All you're just doing is you're opening up your mouth and you're talking. You're not saying anything of substance. Now, I asked you a direct question. If we left planet Earth and the distance between planet Earth and planet X is infinite, would we ever arrive?
Is there a contradiction in arriving at that planet?
Okay, can you answer my question, please?
It's a yes or no question.
Okay. Would we ever arrive?
No. By
okay, thank you. Right
regard,
there. So
but if
now,
you derive
okay, different. Now, so you just agreed with me that an infinity cannot be traversed. Okay, so that's your first failing. Okay, now number two, you have to address the issue about that if there's an infinite regress, everything is of a second order event. But in order to have second order events, something would have to be primary. But if everything is a second order, then nothing is primary. So that's incoherent. Do you have a rebuttal to that?
There is absolutely no problem with an infinite regress in terms of it being a second order, because you don't need to transverse infinity.
No, we've already covered that. We've already covered that, sir. Okay, you're failing miserably here. Now, do you need me to repeat the question?
Sorry, okay. 1 second. Yeah. I'm getting a litany of messages. Please repeat it while I'm.
Of course you are, because people are trying to save you from philosophically drowning right now. Okay, Mr. Badass, who said that I was afraid of Jack Engstrike. Okay, now, if you are invoking that there's an infinite regress of causal succession, that means every event would be of a second order. Okay, now if every event is of a second order, then nothing would be of a primary order. Okay, so that's incoherent. Now, do you have a rebuttal to that?
Sorry, I'm responding to messages. Give me like 30 seconds, Darth. I got to respond.
No, please, do me. No, we're not going to do this. You're going to answer me now, or the interaction is over. Mr. DARTH DAWKINS is afraid of Jack Engstrike. I know you're failing, and people are desperately sending you DMs to coach you, to tell you what to say. But you're demonstrating you are failing.
From your fans.
Ignore it. Ignore them. You're talking to me now.
Look at this white supremacy. Pants. White supremacy versus white supremacy.
Yeah, Mr. Smarty Pants. Now, can you answer my question?
Sure, things can be of second order.
That's not an answer to my question.
Sorry, repeat your question.
I've already repeated it 3 times. Mr. I'm afraid of Jack Engstrike. I've repeated the question 3 times. I've unpacked it 3 times. Are you having trouble understanding the scenario and the question?
No, I just simply forgot what you were doing.
Good, then answer the question, please. Then answer the question.
I straight up just told you. I forgot what you asked. I believe that there's not a problem
I've asked
with
you
an
3
infinite
times, I've explained the scenario 3 times, and I've asked the question 3 times. So you still don't understand after I've unpacked it and I've asked the question 3 times.
I don't agree with your premise. That's what I've been saying. Like the entire time.
No. You're not answering the question. The issue is not that you don't agree. You see, you're stalling. Okay, you are failing worse than the Hindenburg did crashing in Lakehurst, New Jersey. Now, are you going to answer the question?
Again, I'm trying to remember what it is, but let me just make sure that I have all of these apparent. I don't have a problem with it.
I know it's tough answering while you're trying to read people sending you DMs.
I don't think that there's a problem that things are second order, because first of all, I don't think
that's not an answer to my question.
There is again, you're asking me to try to remember what your claim is while I just told you that
wow,
I don't remember what your question
you're
is.
Sitting there, you got big brass balls. You come in here, oh, Darth won't answer, motive stolen. He's afraid of Jack Angstrike. All right, I ask you a couple of simple questions when you try to critique the Christian world, and you admit that you could only do so based upon reason out of your worldview, and now you are failing colossally when I ask you a simple question about the basis of your worldview. Okay, I've asked it 3 times. How about this? I'll repeat it again for a 4th time.
Sure.
Okay, now,
please.
If there's an infinite regress, if all events are of an infinite regress, that means all events are of a second order. If everything is of a second order, then nothing is of a primary order. If nothing's primary, there can't be second order events.
Wait, why is it necessary that everything is of second order?
Because by definition, second order means that there has to be eventually something first, or there can't be something second. Second comes subsequently after primary or first, does it not? Would you like me to quote you? Would you like me to quote you, Brant Bosserman, a philosopher, on this?
If you trail this,
can you have something that's of a second order if nothing is primary?
It's not saying that there isn't anything primary. Secondary orders can just cause tertiary. This is the whole point of
you're bullshitting now. You know what? I'm going to end the interaction because not only is this is beating a dead horse, you're continuing to filibuster. You're not saying anything substantive to me. Okay? Can you have something that is of a second order if nothing is first or primary?
Yes.
Okay, we're done, folks. Yeah, dude, you failed miserably. Okay, if anyone else wants to talk to me, we'll move on. You see, this is what they do when they get cornered with their absolute bullshit. They just keep on moving their mouth as though they're saying something substantive. They know, and we know, they're not saying anything substantive, but they're still doing their little kabuki dance. Okay, it's embarrassing for you. Maybe you need to go back to Jack Angstrike and maybe get some more instruction on how to defeat Darth Dawkins, okay? Because you just got slaughtered, sir.
Oh, God.
I really encourage you to actually approach the concept of infinity because you clearly don't understand it.
Hey, sir, what instantiates anything in your worldview? When you want to talk infinity or anything else for that matter. Now, you said there's an infinite regress. How can you possibly know that?
No, I said I don't have a problem with an infinite regress.
No, sir. Were you asserting that there's an infinite regress of cause and effect to establish the causal principle?
I said that there's only cause and effect to what we know in our known universe.
No, sir, I'm not talking to we. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to multiple people. Stop with the we crap. Okay, now I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to ask you again. You said the causal principle is eternal, that there's an infinite regress of cause and effect. Okay, how can you possibly know that?
I want to be really clear about what I said because you're not listening to it.
Answer my question, please.
You have mischaracterized my argument.
No, how?
So make sure to restate it.
Causal principle
that's
real?
Not what I said.
Is the causal principle real?
Yes.
Do you need the causal principle in order to reason?
In our current rules of reason.
No, sir. No, listen to me. Do you need the causal principle to be true, without which you couldn't reason?
Yes, in our current rules of reason.
Now, is the causal principle real?
Yes.
Okay. What makes it real? I ask you, is it something independent, external, that institutes and secures and maintains the causal principle? Or is the causal principle internally self-contained? And you said it's internally self-contained because it's an infinite regress, right? Remember that? Now, how do you know that? How do you know that?
That's not what I said.
Yes, okay, you know what? We're done. We're moving on. Now you're lying.
Nope, I said...
Goodbye.
No,
we're done.
I said it's eternal.
Next.
I said, well,
no, we're done.
Well, here's the thing, Darth. This isn't your server. You can't just lie and then misrepresent people's arguments.
I'm not lying. Okay,
that's not how this works.
You know what? Listen to me carefully. If you lie to me, which you just did, if you lie to me, I will never talk with you again. Okay? So lie to me again, and I will put a note in your account, and I will never talk with you again.
I think you shouldn't talk to him.
Okay? Now, How could you possibly know about anything which is ultimately foundational that dictates everything else? How do you know that?
I'm not claiming to know it with totality.
Okay, so
you don't know. I'm claiming to say that to the best of our knowledge.
No, stop our. No, please not our. How do you know what is fundamental that dictates what is, can be, and cannot be? How do you know that?
I don't. I'm an instrumentalist. I don't think we can make ontological claims.
Okay, good. So good. You can't make any ontological claims?
Correct.
Good. Then you can't say there's reason. You just committed philosophical. Look, we're done. You keep on stepping on landmines and blowing up like dog food all over the place. We're done, sir.
Darth,
I'm going to move on to somebody else.
It's inductive, Darth.
No. It does inductive require that there any ontology can be instantiated?
It's logic is only to the best of our knowledge.
Answer the fucking question. You know, sir, you are a dishonest person. I'm almost at the point now where I'm going to put a note in your account.
You're a Christian.
And I will never talk to you again. Person. Listen to me carefully. I get indignant with people like you who are deceptive. Now, you just said you cannot and do not make ontological claims. But if you're going to invoke that you're doing induction requires that you make at least one or more ontological claims. But you said you don't have any ontological claims. Does induction require some ontological claims?
It requires relative certainty, not ontological.
No, that's not okay. Claims. You know what? You can fuck off. You know what? Every time I ask you a fair question, you give me an evasive, deceitful answer. Guess what? I'm now putting a note in your account. I will never talk with you again. And the reason why is not because I disagree with you, not because you're debating against me, because every single time I ask you a question, you give me a completely evasive response. So I'm done.
No. You are mixing up.
I'm turning you down. I won't be listening to you. We're done, sir. You're filibustering and you're bullshit. I'm done with you. You're done. I will never talk with you again.
What is Darth doing out of his hole?
I don't know. He's conflating
I get
epistemology
pissed when
and
people
ontology.
repeatedly lie to me.
He doesn't seem to understand what epistemology is.
Here.
Right, so now everyone's going to complain
we
about
just
Darth.
witnessed why there's a specific channel for him on the server.
Does any atheist want to maybe back up Brando or whatever his name was? Help him out a little bit.
So I'd like to give it a try. I mean, I don't really see the problem with an infinite regress.
Nice.
Okay, I'm ready. I just put a note in my account never to talk with that lying swine again.
No fucking, you fucking idiot. You fucking nerd, man. You fucking went on rant for no reason, you fucking idiot. No fucking.
I could care less about your heckling.
Do not treat Darth that way.
All right, Darth, do you remember
Brando
me?
is an absolute liar.
He's a cop.
No, I usually try to forget transvestites.
Stop breaking the server rules, man.
All right, I got to take a phone call. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Don't come back.
What a bitch.
People, man.
Now the atheists are brave.
I heard Lando was a Satan.
Yeah, they're all coming out now.
Dude,
So
I mean, I'm trying to talk to him.
When he's back.
Hold on, did the tree fall in the forest? I don't know. So you're saying it didn't fall in the forest? How could you do this to me? You fucking liar!
A tree infinitely regresses into the force.
I'm just going to speak for the room here. I'm pretty sure whenever Darth goes out on these rants and he just goes off on somebody, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he knows this, but I
think he's actually going to go take his meds.
I don't think anyone is standing with him. Am I the only one?
I mean, I'm not going to lie.
It's because he's a YouTube star.
I'm not going to lie. As someone who's actually an atheist,
he's a YouTuber. He's an anti-YouTube star. He makes other people stars.
He's not a YouTube star. Whoever is saying that is conflating two things.
Oh no, do we have another Darth defender? Yes, we do. We have a conservative Republican Christian here. Yes, of course.
No, I don't defend Darth. I don't like him.
Combo.
We're no conservative.
I think
it's really funny how he's just.
Where's the water?
he's made an entire persona around not understanding epistemology. Like,
correct.
Again, it's like the fact that he thinks that some of these, and I want to be really clear to all the people who are DMing me, all of his arguments that he's trying to make are based on a false assumption. So trying to like argue against his secondary assumptions while I'm sitting here trying to defend my original assumption, that's why he makes people look like they're blabbering, because he can't get, because it's one of those just like really